That's something.
Welcome. This is We Got Problems. I'm here with some of my nearest and dearest, closest friends. Um, Starting with the butterfly bully, we have Miss Wanda. Then we got the trash vegan. We got the Bitcoin bully,
Peace. How y'all doing?
and we're missing a key piece tonight. He'll probably tap in a little later, but we also have a guest by the name of say your name, Khan, sir.
Jabril.
Jabril. And so tonight's topic, we're talking about the inconsistency of the school system. Inconsistent teachings of the school system. And to start it off, we have Jabari. Jabri. I'm sorry. What is? State your name and state what you claim, and give us some fun facts about yourself, so the people know your credentials.
All right, my name is Jabri Abdullah. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I moved out here to Vegas probably about 5 years ago. I got a master's degree in education administration. I've been in education since 2011, and right now I'm assistant principal at a K through 8 school.
Okay. And being from Detroit, what was some of the things that you saw, and some of the things that some of your takeaways that you can instill into the new school?
It's a lot. First of all, it's cultural building. We have teachers that don't know. Vegas is different. We have teachers who not really caring about the kids emotionally or caring about them as a person enough. So, for instance, the area I'm in is not Detroit, but it's probably like the worst part of Vegas that I'm in to teach. And we have children coming to school with all different types of things. One parent household. Some of the parents be on drugs and things like that. So when they come into the classroom, I'm not gonna throw a paper just in your face and say, "Hey, let's get to work. Let's have a reset for a minute. How was your weekend? How was you doing? How you doing? Everybody all right?" You got to check on them. So that's the one thing, cultural wise, that I got from Detroit that they pretty much, a lot of teachers don't have training with out here.
And I don't think it's just out there, because I've noticed that where I am too. They don't. There's a lot of places they don't do that, and they should.
It's pretty much everywhere.
Mm-hmm. There's teachers.
It's just about taking care of our babies. Like they more than just they treat schools like a factory. Get them in, get them out, and it's more than that. When a child come to my class, we build a relationship that he could build trust in me, and then once he build that him or she build that trust in me, that's when you get them to work for you. But you got to set that stage for them. Talk about different things sometimes. You got to have class resets all the time. Because if you come to school hungry, you haven't ate the last 3 days, you haven't seen your mom or dad in the last couple of days because you at home with your younger brother or sibling, younger brother or sister take care of them. And then you come to school and your teacher say, "Hey, where's your pencil at? Why don't you have this? Why don't you have that?" So your mind not even on that. So that's why I tell teachers, you got to build a relationship with them first. Check on the baby, see how they doing. It's a cultural disconnect, big time in the schools, big time.
So some of the triggers that you see, and I know, I can tell many of us, we grew up in a system where we had the crack epidemic.
Oh yeah.
And so I see a lot of people in our generation, they're more caring because they know the things they had went through, and they don't want to see it with this new school. And I know right now it's more of an opioid situation than a crack situation, where our mothers and fathers or uncles and aunts, they couldn't get that type of help and rehabilitation as today in society. And with society, with the technology moving faster, so you're starting to see a lot of things, you know, like social media. We didn't have that added hype to our lifestyle. You know what
because
I'm saying?
not to cut you off, but think about this. The crack epidemic was affecting who?
Oh, you know who affected?
Yeah. So the opioid epidemic is affecting who? Also, now we're gonna get those resources because that's who it's affected.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So now their babies are getting affected. So now we need to have these resources and these things for them.
Mm-hmm.
But we was right there.
Same thing they told us. Just say no.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Just say no. What was that gonna do for us? Not to get off subject, but I sat in a classroom last week, and it was a history. The teacher was teaching history, and she was in the 80s teaching about Ronald Reagan. And she was talking about all these things he did to rebuild the economy. That, you know, after Carter was in, Carter messed up the economy. He came in with all these things and built the relationships with everybody in South America and things like that. And he won the election by a landslide. As I'm sitting in this class, I'm thinking, that's how y'all view him. We don't view him like that. Those relationships that he built with them that devastated our community.
Yep.
And you could ask any black person in that school. I was going around. I said, "Hey, watch this." I took that teacher. I said, "Watch this. Hey, what you think about Ronald Reagan?" They all were saying,
yeah, because it's been a cultural disconnect.
It's a big time cultural disconnect, big time.
And I think they just passed a law or some shit where they're talking about white sensitivity, cultural sensitivity or something like that. I forgot. History.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about systematic racism.
Yeah.
So in Tennessee, they passed a law to talk about systematic racism out of schools.
Yeah.
See, America as a country, we hide our hand. They did a lot of the evil things to a lot of people, but they never want to talk about it ever.
Yo, you know, we always talk about it in this podcast about man, I almost lost my train of thought. Well, we talk about how this system, you know, they make the rules because they're winning.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so you can erase a 400, 500 year systematic racism within 10 decades. You just erase it till niggas came over here as immigrants, even though some of us was already over here.
Was already here.
Yeah. And so they're erasing the textbooks, like the major textbooks like Schuster and all them. They put in, we came over here as immigrants. But
let me tell you how wicked.
It's in the main textbooks.
Let me tell you how wicked this is, dog. This ain't nothing new. They've been doing this for forever. Why you think when they went to Egypt, they scratched their heads and said, "Hey man, like how they build these pyramids? They got these big noses. We know who them people are, so we're gonna shoot them off. So then you can't tell who they are, and then we're gonna paint Cleopatra to look like this."
Oh yeah,
we've been here.
Ancient Kemet.
We're gonna be here.
And what's crazy
all said and done, we're not going anywhere.
And what's crazy about it, it's over 100 pyramids up and down the Nile Valley.
Oh yeah.
But we always been pointing to just look at those 3 top major, you know, Giza and all of that stuff.
Have you seen the ones right here in the United States?
Oh yeah, that's around Butterfly Bully Way.
Yeah.
Up in the mounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They got some in the Grand Canyon as well.
Yeah.
Grand Canyon as well. Yeah.
That's why they got it closed off.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like we cover every square mile of the planet Earth. Think about this. You could go to Mexico, you go to Cuba, you could go to Brazil and see people dark like me and you, but just speak a different language.
Mm-hmm.
And they tell you he Cuban. No, he's from Cuba, but that's a black man you're speaking to. But history is, but you got to think about it. History is written by the winners. They get to write however they want to because they won.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this: with you being in administration, are you able to, or are teachers able to actually teach the truth, or will they be reprimanded for that, and they can only stick to what's in the textbooks or the allowed textbooks?
You could definitely teach the truth, but you gotta understand too, it might be consequences for them telling the truth to certain students, which may they go home and tell their parents and stuff like that. But you got to stand your ground and stand what you believe in. I know that's what I did when I was a teacher. I used to set the classroom on fire when I had time to teach about certain things, and I was a history teacher at that.
Do you see a lot of other teachers doing that?
No, I don't. But I talk to them about it all the time. They have issues with how certain things is written, and they won't say nothing or tell the kids their perspective on it or how it's really supposed to go. They'll wait and go to the NAACP, but I'm telling them that's a teachable moment right now. Because when you have Caucasian kids in your classroom and you want to teach them about these things that went on in history, that's how you might be able to break the cycle if you go ahead and teach them right then and there and tell them how it's really supposed to go or how it really went. But no, yeah, they wait till they get out of school and then start doing their complaining or do their complaining to other teachers. But I definitely done ran across some things like I might not agree with, and I definitely would teach it a totally different way.
But it's crazy even how the school system was built anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's built for you to become a worker.
Yeah.
Yeah, these millionaires who built these businesses, these big factories, all this stuff, they needed workers.
Yeah.
And a worker couldn't just come off the street. They needed training. So they built these institutions to train you. The school, getting a college degree push you in somebody else's job, not for you to work for yourself, though. It always puts you in the seat of somebody else's job. And they're going to pay you what they think you deserve.
Yeah, and the people in charge probably don't even have a degree.
No, they don't.
It was just passed down from generation to generation.
Generation to generation. If y'all ever get the opportunity.
And the sad part, most of those businesses were created off of legal businesses as well. So that's the crazy thing about it.
Oh, yeah, big time. But those businesses are praised, though. They praise them. When you see like the guy who owned McDonald's, how he just stole that from somebody.
Yeah.
And it was bad. Or Rockefeller, or you look at Rockefeller, or Morgan and Chase, and the savagery that they was doing when they built those empires, the savagery they did, and the people they blackballed and backstabbed and had murder and all those things like that. They praised for that stuff.
Yeah, just like Thomas Edison, where he killed the elephant.
Thomas Edison too. Yeah,
he killed the elephant because Tesla showed him how to use power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so they were like, "Oh, this is a killer elephant. Look."
Yeah. Yeah. So they praise for that stuff. When you look at the gang, look at gangs. You got Italian gangs, you got black gangs, you got all Mexican gangs, you got all types of gangs. But when you talk about those gangs, they call them organized crime. To take a sip, but it was still crime. Bootlegging was illegal. That was drug dealing. They praised for it though.
They were able to create legal businesses off of it and got casinos and everything else.
They were.
So and then you start thinking about, I don't know if you guys ever caught that 1%, and you start thinking about those conglomerates that are still going to this day, and they businesses are passed down generational wealth, and we look at our babies, what are we leaving for ours? We don't have that opportunity, and they're not teaching us about it in school. So we kind of got to figure a way to get together and educate ourselves and teach our own babies, because if we depended on them to teach us, we don't stand a chance.
Have y'all ever researched John F. Kennedy's father?
Mm-hmm. He was a bootlegger.
Big time. One of the biggest ones in the United States. But he built that wealth and was able to help his children.
And that's the thing. Trash, like, these people are able to do the savagery and pass down the wealth to the next generation. Whereas in comparison to us, when something go down, you know what I'm saying? You think they put their stuff in their mama's name and this and that, and the government come for all they shit, whether it's in their mother's name or whatever. We don't have no protection here in America. No, and time and time again, it has shown. Just like you think about like Prince and Michael Jackson estates and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure these men had scripted out what they wanted done just in case shit happens.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But because they're dead and nobody's able to speak on their behalf, even the lawyers are probably dirty. You know what I'm saying?
or they was running Michael Jackson estate like it wasn't even his no more.
Yeah.
I think isn't Prince is still in court?
Yeah, I think Prince
might be.
Yeah.
And we all know Michael Jackson owned everything. From his masters to all that. He was buying the Beatle catalog. We know he owned everything.
All right. We got a man, Curtis G. Martin. He's about to step back in. But go ahead, continue. Go ahead, God.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, continue. I got off track right quick.
Yeah, so like what I see the lack of in our communities is the resources. And the resources is the key to all of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the thing about it is, all right, so within the Black community, we have about $3 trillion that go through Black people's hands. $3 trillion every year go through our hands. The dollar stays in our community for 5 days before we give it to the Arabics, before we give it to the Chinese.
Oh, it's less than that.
It wasn't 5 days. It was 5 hours. That's what it was. It's 5 hours. Yeah. It's 5 hours. Chinese was the longest.
Chinese is 7.
Oh, go ahead.
And Chinese is 7 years.
Yeah, Chinese was way longer. So we got $3 trillion. We got $3 trillion to go through our hand every year. So we said we don't have the resources, but we got the money. We're the number one consumer. We got the money.
Well,
but the thing about it, we give up our money to everybody else.
But here's the thing: we do not create. We don't have the factories. We don't have most of the stuff they talking about are the stuff that we need in our community, like for everyday living, like soaps and different items like that.
And the thing about it is this too: if we were to put our money together and try to build something, we could come out of this overnight. Overnight, we got $3 trillion to come through our hands. Do you know that's more than 17 countries in the world?
But what did they do to stop that? They already thought of this. They pitted everybody against each other for stupid shit.
Exactly. But
you
it's
darker
but it's still
than me, you lighter than me, you a man, you a woman,
paper bad test.
Right. They know what they're doing. So we can't come
together. Ours is more so our mentality.
So we gotta know what we're doing. Yeah. I agree.
It's a mindset issue.
We gotta know what we're doing.
It's a mindset issue, exactly. It's a mindset issue.
Yeah.
Ours is our whole mentality. We got $3 trillion that coming through our hands, and that's more than 17 whole countries in the world. We make more money than 17 countries. come through the black community. And then we can't get mad when we go try to get a job and that Caucasian man don't want to give us a job that he created for his people.
Yeah, Malcolm X talked about that. He said, you know, we robbing our children.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we're talking about, you know, going to work for Mr. So-and-so, be a part of their establishment.
Yeah.
Trying to make laws so we can be a part of these stuff.
It's like in my neighborhood where I grew up at, one of my partners, he have a little neighborhood store. And it's guys that go out their way to go to the other store instead of going to his store. But when they broke and they need something, right? Hey, let me spare $1, but I need one of these, right? Then they at his store all the time. And I bring it up every time I'm around, right? But if we do it right, you supposed to go to his store, and then you supposed to look and see what the neighborhood need that I can provide. And once I start providing that, and then everybody come to me. Now somebody else, what do the neighborhood need? It's the same thing we doing as entrepreneurs. Like, it's coming together now to me, but slowly, right? We just need masses of people doing it, right? Like, you see entrepreneurs in Atlanta getting busy. You see entrepreneurs in different states coming together, and then now they coming together state to state. Now we got to branch out from our little circle, like even this circle. Once this circle get big, we can't forget our community. We can't just do stuff like try to do stuff in the whole America. We got to go back to our community and then raise our community up and not leave our community. Like, my wife want to move, right? I was like, babe, we in like prime area. We got a good area in the hood. Why leave this? I'm not leaving this, right? And if we ever do have to leave because everybody else get pushed out, I'm already thinking now to go to the next neighborhood where I think we all going. They push us farther east, right? In LA. So I need to go open a business up there now, right? I get down and past Lancaster. That's what he's shooting all of us to, right? I get down past Lancaster. I need to open up a business out there now and own the business, not just rent from somebody.
Yeah.
So to me, that's where we put our dice.
They're not just shooting us; they're hanging us out there as well. There's some hangings going on out there. It's real.
That part.
You know, and when you look at that stuff, it's either pretend to be cops or cops, right? We've seen them catch people that had tie wraps and dressed like cops, right? They've been catching them lately. So you don't just pull over for, like, when I'm driving out there. When I'm driving, can't anybody just pull me over? Like, I'm not stopping at a store. When I pull up, I'm not stopping at a store, no matter if it's black guys, white guys, Hispanic guys. It could be all Asian guys out there drinking beer and having fun. I'm not stopping. But if somebody pulled me over with some lights, they check me, I don't have anything, then let me go. Now that next guy that comes scoop me up, block me in, he know I don't have nothing. So that type of stuff.
I just feel like we got to have a different mentality. We do. We have to stop being victimized. We have to stop being victims. We have to stop being victims. We have to. And then we cry and then we march. Like, we have to stop.
I agree. I definitely agree.
I mean, you got a bunch of beta males pretending to be alphas.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So you got certain people, the dominant society allow on TV and in the cameras. And now that we have like platforms like YouTube and Instagram and stuff, now it's a lot of us who can really talk our shit now. You know what I'm saying? Be like, yo, fuck what they saying. We can do this. We can move like this. We can create this. You know what I'm saying? But they'll put, you know, Roland Martin or some other cooning and buffooning fool in front of us and say, this is your next leader, or this is so-and-so.
I'm gonna be honest.
Media.
Last summer.
Oh, go ahead.
Last summer, I had a problem with the whole Black Lives Matter thing.
That's not even us.
I had a problem with it. I did. Because I feel like we still crying out as victims for 400 years. We telling someone that Black Lives Matter, and for 400 years, they have showed you that it doesn't. So why are we still telling them that? Let's tell ourselves that. Let's tell ourselves that it matters, that Black Lives Matter, so then we can start taking care of us.
Well, if you saw the,
it gotta matter to us first.
If you seen the recent commercial, they was talking about doing electric slide. It's like dancing their way out of white supremacy.
Yeah.
And she
I'm
had
glad I didn't see that.
So she was I forgot the lady name, but she was I guess she got to deal with UGGs, and then they found out, you know, she's out here buying up, you know, real estate and stuff. So like, what are you doing with the money? You know, because you got a lot of grassroots people across the country. Like, yo, we know y'all got money. What y'all doing with the money? Why the support is not coming in for what we need over here? Right. You know what I'm saying? And I was saying last year, yo, this is a tax benefit. You know what I'm saying? When you donate, it's a tax benefit.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So they recoup that. Oh, I gave the Black Lives Matter, but then they're not even practicing the things they need to be practicing in their businesses. But they support Black Lives Matter.
If they matter, they gotta. I'm just saying they gotta matter to us first. If we put a honor on a black life, if we made it almost impossible for something to happen to a black person without consequence, that will all matter. We don't need to tell them that Black Lives Matter. They have showed us that it don't to them. So why are we telling them that?
We need to tell show them that they do.
Yeah, we're gonna show you that they do.
Yeah.
By any means necessary. By any means necessary.
That's what's in our own community.
Yeah, and I don't promote violence, but if violence is put upon me, then I'm putting violence back. That's the only way something's gonna stop, and that's just my opinion, right? I ain't trying to speak for everybody that's here, right? But my thing is this: I remember watching a guy on social media. He killed a guy, and they said, "Man, why'd you kill the guy?" He said, "Man, because he promised me he was gonna kill my daughter." He said, "So I went and killed him before he can kill my daughter. Now my daughter can live her life." And I can respect that to a certain point, right? I don't know the whole backstory, right, to do it deserve the respect. But from that point, that's the way it should be, right? Like, if you kill my son, okay, I'm going to set stuff in place to where I might not be here no more, right? Like not just looking for me to go do that, but at the same time, I'm going to set things in place. I hope everybody heard me say that part, right? I'm going to set things in place to where everybody's okay, right? That'd be if it's Bitcoin, that'd be if it's credit, that'd be if it's stocks, right? That'd be if it's mindset, right? Like I saw a post today, and I've been telling y'all this for a while, right? That I don't pay my kids to do chores. Chores is something you're gonna have to do as a man or woman already. I pay them to read books because that's where they're gonna get their wisdom at. And I teach them this game that I'm practicing, the game that I learned. I'm giving it to them because I know the school system not teaching them credit. I let one of my kids use their credit card today, right? I told y'all, like, I'm teaching them how to use this system. And then now they make little necklaces, right? I'm gonna start letting them buy the product with their credit card, so when the bill come, they know how to manage the money, right? We got to teach that type of stuff, right? Like, but what we teaching is, I hate to see it all the time. We've been dancing for years, man. Come on, man. We got to stop dancing, right? We got to stop playing basketball, right? Like, I ain't saying don't do it, but out of thousands and thousands, what is like 12, 20 people make the NBA every year? It's only like 20 of them, right? 30 of them at the most. Some of them can make a living, but what are you doing when you make that living? Right? Most of them spend the money still trying to like buy cars, right? Everybody promoting the cars, everybody promoting this this luxury lifestyle, right? When I try to promote to my kids, right, the type of save money, right? Look good, but save money. Like it's tons of ways we can look good without buying red bottoms.
Yeah, I say, like, even like we're going to college, like, don't go to college to get a job to make 20, 30,000. You got to go to college for engineering, agriculture, something that you can bring back to help your community. Don't go to college like I tell kids all the time. I had students that tell me like, look, I want to be a barber, I want to be a mechanic, I want to be a electrician. I have kids tell me that. I'm like, nothing wrong with that, because you could have your own business. Nothing wrong with that. College teach you to work for somebody,
but you make sure you
unless you're going to college for some real deal stuff.
Make sure you take a couple business.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I definitely think we need to work with our hands. That's why China is winning, right? That's why China is winning. They have engineers. They do things with their hands, right? We don't do anything with our hands. We don't know how to sew. I remember when I was growing up, they had sewing in school, right? I took sewing. I took auto mechanics. I took plastic. I took wood. I took metal, right? I took welding. We had all of that stuff, so we knew how to do things, right?
Yeah.
We knew how to do things. So now that we don't do nothing with our hands, and a lot of people think it's a black issue with that, right? It's a everybody issue. A lot of people don't know. Just when COVID shut down, everybody was at home. It wasn't black people at home, right? But the ones that can do things with their hands, what they was doing, sewing masks, right? And they started selling those masks. Right? You start seeing people be real innovative when COVID hit. So we got to keep that same momentum, right? Like I'm definitely keeping that same momentum, right? Like I opened a company during the pandemic, right? And got with somebody that showed me how to fully structure it to where it was right? And that's another thing we got to get out of. Like we talk about the knowledge, you got to pay for knowledge sometimes. And we can't expect everybody to just give us something. Right. I totally get that. Now, it could be a bartering system, but at the same time, we can't expect somebody to just give us something. And then we got to watch who we letting in the circle, in the movements.
Definitely. There's a lot of snakes.
Yeah. And then once we see him, hey, DMX, man, had a cold interview right before he passed, a couple months before he passed.
That went on Drink Champs.
Yeah. And he said, I can't remember the exact quote, but he said, trust everybody for who they are.
Yeah.
Like, don't think we want to make people better people. We want to pull them along, right? It's guys that believe them. Yeah. He said, believe them. Right.
If they show you, believe them.
Yeah, right. But that's DMX, and I love that. Even though he struggled, he had something positive to say all the time about community and trying to build up. He just was stuck, right?
Yeah.
So
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you can go ahead.
No.
Well, I was just going to bring it back to the schools and kids. Like we want to reach the children first to get out of where we're at. Because really, you go try and talk to adults about anything, especially in the inner city, they're not trying to listen.
Here you go right here.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. So
Hey,
we got to
you know
teach
what's crazy
the
about
children.
that? Most people want a part of it once they see your success. And then they don't only want a part, they want to get to where you are right then and there, right?
And they think it came overnight.
Yeah, yes, sir.
It took me 10 years to get here overnight.
Yes, sir. When they saw it, it just happened, right? Like I remember telling my cousin, we all got together and talked about writing a book, right? And I'm $4 in, and now they still saying, yeah, man, you got to help me out. And now they tell people, oh, he won't help me, right? Like making an excuse for why they didn't do it. Like, dude, I couldn't help you. I was up all night. Like when I was working, I'm telling you, man, grown man, I cried one night, right? Driving in to work. My brother-in-law, he had to do this presentation. He was getting his doctorate, right? And he had to put these videos together, and I put the videos together for him. And when he finally called me and said, yeah, man, it's a go. I was like, man, you're supposed to give me a week, right? Like we have been putting stuff together, but now I'm up trying to make sure he had this to go into class and we got to mail it off, right? And he set it up to where he said, hey, look, my video guy has it and he's going to mail it to you guys. So when y'all see it coming from him, but then that was fine. So now I got to mail it on time. So now I'm up all night and I'm putting that together. And then I looked at the time right when I got finished, mailed it out. I took a shower and drove into work. I'm up all night. And tears came to my eyes of joy because I said, you know what? I don't need this job. I just got to grind like I did for my brother-in-law.
grind.
Once I start grinding like that, then things starting to change now, right? So that's what we got to do. We got to put in that work, man.
And just to piggyback off of that, how much does it cost for these jobs to make you forget about your dream?
My rent and a car and some food.
no one should be able to pay you for your intellect, your intellect, man. That's priceless.
Yeah.
Like,
so a lot of people,
you gonna use your smarts, you got to use that.
Well, a lot of people, because these jobs give you absorbent pay, you know what I'm saying? You forget about your main thing, your goal, your dreams, everything you want to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? So you got people who want to start a business or whatnot, but because this job is paying you X amount of dollars, you like, I get to it one day.
Yeah, but you should be using that money from that job to help you start your business. That should just be leverage. You should be learning all you can learn from that job, stacking up money and using that to start your business.
So and you live comfortable while you start your business. That's it.
And teach your kids that, right? and everything is like I know we drift, but it still go back to teaching your kids that too, because your kids gonna do what they see.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If they don't see you grinding, then they not gonna grind.
There's some kids out there that see
getting
somebody
up every
else
day
do
going
it.
to a job. Well, no, there is, but I'm just speaking for the majority. You don't have a whole lot of them, right? And I get that, because I told you guys I was different anyway. Even though I was running the streets, I told you I would take the younger dudes around the neighborhood to school, and then when I come home, everybody I hung with was still asleep. So I was like, shit, you know what? I got a bunch of time on my hand. I started going to school, and I always did that, and it paid off. Like even now, I know how to work computers because I went to a computer school when I was running the streets, right? Like, after that, I went to another job, and then once I left the job, because it was always, I think too, nobody teach us, right? So my thing was get enough money to go back to the hood to do whatever I needed to fund for the hood stuff. Right, that's the way the mentality is. So nobody's teaching them that. No, man, you don't fund your project in the hood. you fund your business, right? Like I remember growing up in the hood, right? And we did all type of terrible stuff, right? And I ain't gonna just talk about all that, but all the stuff we did, we were learning business, right? Like I'm finna tell you, I didn't know it was 28 grams in an ounce from school. I definitely didn't know that from school, right? I didn't know 4 ounces was a quarter pound. I didn't know that from school, right? But we teaching ourselves this stuff, right? We teaching ourselves how to weigh stuff and package stuff. So now I can be in a warehouse, I can have a business, and I can do packaging.
And marketing. You should do
marketing. Right, we did all of that stuff, right? We even scaled when we start going out of state.
Right. There's a bunch of entrepreneurs out here that do not know that they are.
Right, and all they have to do is just get another product.
Yep.
Right, that bad product ain't the product. Get another product.
And most time they don't come into that knowledge until they have to sit behind the wall.
Yeah. But you know, and then you get guys that glorify jail, and then now that the youngsters glorifying it, we all calling them the bad guys, right? Mm-hmm. The generation before them started this crap. They just take it to another level, right? Every time you downgrade, the other ones take it to another level, right? That's all it's been. Our generation was doing bad things. This generation started doing worse things, right? Like it's, and then everybody was on some type of drug. Everybody, these dudes on pills. You just wasn't on pills when y'all were growing up. You was on liquor. You was on something, right? So it's now them same guys, when they get to a position of where they learning, now they need to go back and fix what they started. That's what has to happen. Like sometimes it ain't even about money. It's about fixing the individuals. If I fix myself and then I fix my son, now we got a little team that's fixed. Now I go fix the neighbor. Now he fixed that neighbor. Now everywhere. Now we getting stuff together. Like the guy I told you that had a store, team of brothers. Every last one of them own their business. It's an alien takeover. We got problems.
We got problems.
What'd you say?
Man, come get my phone.
Hey, but yeah, no. So
did he have my phone? Is it?
that might be you, Bitcoin.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
Teachers make mistakes too.
There we go.
I'm sorry.
No, you good.
Assistant principals.
Hey, did y'all ever think that the system is kind of designed the way it is to kind of keep us the way we are right now? Like projects and everything.
The system is working.
Yeah.
Yeah, the system works.
Like, do you guys ever think that they want us to stay in the design that we're in right now?
Yeah, the system works.
It works perfectly.
You're not on mute.
Hey, you might have another browser open that you listening to the show on.
Yeah, another browser open.
They in the same room.
Hey, Lance.
Yeah, he right across from him.
Hey, Lance.
Oh, okay.
Lance. Oh, damn, my fault.
Crossfeed. Okay. But yeah, that's the kind of part that baffles me.
No,
like
the system is working, man.
School systems and what they're teaching us in the schools, they're not really teaching us the information that's going to really get our kids to the next level. And that's some of the hard things that even the teachers that are teaching have a problem with doing, because, you know, at the end of the day, they don't believe in everything that they have to teach, but they have test scores that the states are requiring to get kids up to a certain standard. Otherwise, the schools don't get certain benefits from what they offer out as a state and as the governor. You know what I mean? How that little system works. You get certain benefits for getting kids up to.
That's another issue, is the inner city schools compared to the suburbs. You know, there's totally different teachings and completely different resources. You know, you can have one school a mile away that
absolutely
don't have laptops, books, clean classrooms, or anything. And the next one got, you know, all kind of high tech.
But you know what else those schools have? You know what else those schools have that our schools don't have? Is they have parent participation.
Yep.
Right? Yep. They have parent participation. My kids go to a private school, and the resources they have is far better than they would if they were in their neighborhood, right? And so the parents participate a lot and throw events to raise money. Right, like we did a cooking event to where we went, like, you know how we did the sip and paint? We did a cook and paint. I mean, a cook and sip. Right, we went and cooked our own meal. Everybody played a part in cooking the meal. Everybody chopped up something. Then we had a feast, but we charged them like double, triple the price that the meal would be. And everybody support each parent, right? And that money go back to the school, right? So this particular school. So this particular school. No, but look, this particular school, they started this black group, right? And then they start asking for changes at the school, and they wonder why I wouldn't join that group. I'm like, now we done came out to their school, and now we're going, ha, let's change this at your school. Let's change this at your school. It should be more of this. I'm like, if we're going to make that fight, let's go back to our community and make that fight at a school, right? I'm not joining no fight out here. I still try to do stuff in my community for schools and not at the schools my kids go to. I do stuff that I have to do, right? But I'm also trying to do stuff out here, right? I'm not finna be high and change this when we can change our own community, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that, Trash.
No. I was gonna say this because at my son's at my kids' school, it's like parent participation is different. You know what I mean? Once you get to a certain level, junior high school or whatever, the parent participation is different. But elementary school is where it really counts because that's where the foundation is laid. And one thing that's different in our communities, that's different from a lot of other communities, is the availability of the fathers and the situations that are set up. I can see the difference that it creates when you set up the proper system with your family. So we got to be real careful of our seeds as kings out here to make sure we're raising, being able to raise our families correctly. We have choices we make throughout life, and we all got to be to a point where we're making the right decisions and not just doing whatever and having seeds. It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
See, we talked
And,
about that
and
system
If
working
you don't
properly.
have,
yeah, and one of the
yeah, go
major
ahead.
things is when we should have been marching for black rights during the 60s, we was marching for what's that, civil rights, and civil rights was all inclusive of, you know, black white women and humpbacks, midgets, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Gay, whatever. It didn't matter. It was all inclusive. But the problem we was trying to correct was the rights for blacks, period. And still to this day, and I think we talked about it, the Asian community, it's a bill that was just passed, you know, since the pandemic for them. And we got over 259 bills for lynching and Emmett Till bill and all kinds of stuff, and still haven't been passed. You
And
know what I'm
won't for
saying?
a while.
You know why?
And
Right? It's a reason why though. It's two parties, and they got to get a certain amount of votes. And if you can't
that's
get
what
a
I'm
select
saying. It
amount of
was
votes,
unanimously signed in. Only but two people didn't sign off on the Asian bill.
I understand this. We don't stick together as a people, and we don't run neither one of those parties.
So so
So
so that tell you about the
it
whole
wasn't
Joe
either one of
Biden
those
thing,
parties.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you depend on them to save us, we already lost.
No,
Yeah.
and we shouldn't, right? Like my thing is this. Like I told you, my daughter played soccer today for the first time, and we played in the hood today, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
found some spots. I think I don't know if I found the track place trash you told me about, but I'm bringing them to places here. I had to tell my wife, like, no, they gotta get away from them people sometime. Everything, life ain't finna be surrounded around those people, right? Like we going there for the resources, right? But then we coming back here and sharing what we learn and trying to help here, and then making sure we recycle dollars here. My sister will tell me, oh, I ain't going to that Target. I go to the Target out there. No, we got to shop in the Target in our community if we're going to shop at Target, right? Like you got to shop in the one in your community if you're going to shop at any.
Mm-hmm.
And then now,
Man, you don't.
go ahead. My bad, bro.
No. Like you said, it's not just about shopping in our communities, but we got to build in our communities, and we got to understand where we're lacking resources, and what we aren't getting in the classrooms, what we need to teach our kids, and what we need to do as a community to be able to get the information to the base. Because our generation is shot. Like they killed us with the music. They're constantly trying to kill our babies with the music. And if we don't do something as parents, as adults, to kind of build the next generation, our babies, then we kind of lose as a community. Because if we got little young savages walking them down out here, then we don't stand a chance. Like we got to give care about our own lives. Like one of us said it tonight. We got to start caring about our own lives, and we got to start teaching our kids the values on their body. And our young girls got to know that. Our fathers got to teach the boys the values on their body, because we so easily let the music teach them how to do this, that, and the third, and they learning the wrong things in the wrong ways and don't even know they learning it. And we're allowing this to go on as a community of parents, and we're not really stepping up and being actual parents. I know a lot of punk ass parents out there. You know what I mean? We scared to raise our kids because it's that or the third, or the system got it set up where The woman thinks she's going to benefit more by sending the man through the ringer or this, that, and the third. So the man's not motivated to be in their child's life. And the last thing we can do is have fatherless sons or fatherless daughters in that turn, because the girls need to understand how to be loved. And if we can't teach our little girls what their beauty is, because us as men look at them and we honor the woman that they came out of, then we lost as a community from the gate, man. We really need to work on building these babies, and we got to start with building ourselves.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't think that's real, but they did a study with some elephants. They took the kids, the elephants, and they put them in an area by themselves, the baby elephants. And they were wild, and they start raising havoc. And then they brung the parents back, and then them kids got in line. This elephants. I'm gonna find that video and share it with you guys, but it was amazing. So yeah, the parents got to be there. And what I see sometimes is that all little kids are smart. When you see them, you see babies do some amazing things, but they only can go as far as their parents are and as far as their parents take them, because the school system is only there to make sure they know certain things, right? They not there to actually make sure they have this stuff, right? They teach it to them, but now when they come home, we got to make sure it stick. We got to make sure they have it, right? Like, and that's me. Like I sit with me, even though I done wrote a few books, I told you I cheat with Canva. Right. So when it comes to writing, my wife had to get in and help with the writing. Right. Like, I still don't know how there and there. Right. Like Canva show it for me. Right. So my wife do that part. But now I'm the math guy. Like, I get in and help with the math. And then we both sit in and do with the reading. Right. Like, you got to make sure your kid is getting this. Like I told you guys the other day, my babies, the twins, they're only on single digit adding and subtraction. When they come home and don't have no homework, they got to do triple digits, right? Yep. I'm having them on triple digits. So now when they doing whatever they doing at school, it's that much easier.
Yep.
And I'm going to push them to the next level.
And that's how it should be. Parents need to start taking initiative to teach their children things that they know they aren't learning in school. Because schools they're set on a set schedule where they have to learn things at a certain amount of time. But you already know most of our children are more advanced. So you sitting in the class and the kid already knows the stuff. Like, so the child gets bored. They want to act out. They don't want to listen because they don't have nothing to do. They need to have stuff to do on their level instead of being stuck with the other 40 students that are on a lower level.
They're gonna be like, Miss Butterfly, I need to speak to you. Your kid must have ADHD. Would you like to submit him for this baby crack?
Nope. They tried that with mine too. They sure did. Not happening.
I'm gonna say this because they did the same thing with me, right? When it came to that, we have to be really involved with our kids' education, because the teachers only have our babies for a few hours. Us as parents need to be very aware on that the majority of the time our children are with us, and we need to be more involved in actually having them prepared for school when they do go, because there are some issues that go on. My son, they went in, they gave me the same ADHD spiel. I think he was in second, third grade. They was already talking about it for kindergarten up. My son's a melanated boy. He learns different from some of these other students at the school. And, and when the teachers get there, the only thing they want to do is have a cup of coffee and sit back and chill. And they're entitled to that, but they have a job to do, and I have a job to do. I have to make sure my children are prepared to learn when they get there. So I do everything. I was involved as much as could be expected, and I made sure I worked with the teachers to make sure my son was ready for class. My son needed to run a mile before he went to school. He got up every morning, hopped on the treadmill, go take a shower afterwards, get dressed, take him to school. But by the time he gets to class, he can go sit in the class because he done ran a mile about a half an hour ago. So he can go sit in the classroom and chill out. By the time he go to recess, he got to recharge. The teacher done had her coffee. Now he don't need ADHD no more. But we got to work as parents to kind of make sure we're doing our part to help our kids, right?
And don't just... Oh, go ahead.
That's cool having other remedies, right? That's cool having your own remedies. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, but we can't just let the school decide what our children are going to learn and what things that I've run into several situations where I've had to go up to the school. There was one where they were reading damn, what's that book?
And
It's
Frank.
it's got nigger in it like 100 times.
Oh,
Kill Mockingbird.
no, it's
Damn,
Huckleberry
what is it?
Finn.
I think it is. I think it is. So they took a vote. So my kids go there. There's not very many melanated kids where my children went to school at, right? So the teacher took a vote on whether they were going to be able to say nigger or not. And I'm like, how did you think that was going to go? There's 2 melanated people in this class. I'm not going for that. I was at the school that day.
Listen. This is a classic. This is a classic, Miss Butterfly.
That can be read to themselves. It don't have to be read out loud.
Look,
you don't have to say that.
We need to verbalize this and make sure this is something that they understand.
They understand it all right. And just like I told them, they already got to walk down the hallway and hear the kids say this stuff. But if you let them do this in class for
In front of
reading,
you,
it's like spitting in their face. I'm not going for that.
Well, listen. This is a classic book. Okay, this is how they wrote.
hey, look, my son. So I don't like the whole slavery thing in schools, right? Because my son this year, he after whole Black Lives Matter, Black History Month, George Floyd, he was crying, bawling, crying. And I'm like, man, what's going on? What's wrong? He like, it's too much Black history. I like, what you mean, man? It can't be no too much Black history. He like, Daddy, no. He like, I'm scared of white people. I like, oh no, man, no, come here. Let me tell you something. This is how it went down, and this is how it goes down. And from that point, man, and y'all don't judge me when I say this. I told him, son, look, you ain't gonna be scared of white people. You ain't gonna be scared of nobody. Just know this: anybody ever harm you, I will die for you. So ain't nobody doing nothing to you, right? So you just need to get your education so you can start your business and you have your own money and you hire your own people. I teach him about that right now. If I bring him in here right now, he'll talk credit with you. He'll talk credit with you big time, because that's what I'm gonna teach them. That's what I do. So that's what I'm gonna teach them, right? Like we already got it in the works for them to start writing books, right?
Yep.
Like we got to teach that and teach them not to be scared, and then teach them to be creators, because we're naturally creators.
Yeah. We take after our creator. But I see it's a lot of disconnect in some areas in the neighborhoods around the country, because again we go back to resources.
That was one of the reasons why I started writing Black History children books.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time I got on Black History, it didn't matter what color the student was. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, they were slaves."
Yeah,
hold on, man. Like, hold on, that was it? He's like, "Yeah, I heard Black people used to be slaves." So I had my class. I said, "Hey y'all, I want y'all to do this. Do me a favor. Take out your phones and Google who's the richest man to ever live." And they was like, "Hold on, I know who it's gonna be. It's gonna be Floyd Mayweather. It's gonna be Warren Buffett. It's gonna be it's gonna be Bill Gates." And they opened up. They said, "Mansa Musa. Who was that?" So then I went to the introduction of who Mansa Musa was and gave him a history lesson on the Kingdom of Mali.
And that's good. That's what we need.
I can say this through my time. Go ahead, Kurt.
No, I was done. We just got a delay.
No, okay. I was gonna say through my education growing up, I'll say it was a few teachers: Bonnie Pleasant, Mr. Whitehead. I could think of Mr. Skinner, Miss Skinner. It was a few teachers growing up in the city. I grew up in Compton. I had a few teachers who were really pro teaching us the truth. And I remember going back doing the map of Asia, and I had to put Hannibal on the Great Wall and all of these type of things just because she taught us how beautiful we were, and she came in traditional colors, and she was as flamboyant. Bonnie Pleasant was one of the best history teachers you can ever ask for. But she grew up in the city and she knew what she was giving back. So when you kind of go through and you find certain people who kind of introduce you to that, that's what we got to do as a community. We got to remind our babies who they are and not let them think what the music is teaching who they are now, or what history books are teaching them in school what they are. We got to remind them who they are, and that's why we need more parents to step up and really be parents and be involved in their life and start putting themselves on the back burner a little bit more and making sure that kids get what they need up until adulthood until they can protect themselves. And once they get to that point, then you can kind of go live your best life. We get so many of our young girls trying to either have a child with one man and then catch another man, or a dude who ended up getting into a crazy situation, fighting to see their child going through it with another woman, and then trying to bring someone else into the situation. And all we do is create chaos. We got to be able to make some stuff make sense. And it takes some people stepping back, getting out of their egos and getting out of their own way and make some stuff happen, make smart plays when it comes to raising their next generation, and really put some respect on their legacy, because I don't know if it's enough fathers out here teaching that. You know, when you find enough men in the relationship and trying to be men the right way and actually sacrificing for what they're supposed to sacrifice for, we can get some better results.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yep. So now we got problems. So what are some more solutions that we can set up or arrange within our community, within our circle? And what else? What else could we concoct? Like after school programs, before school programs?
We need to start building our own schools.
Mm-hmm.
We need to start building our own schools flat out. I had wrote a paper in college, I remember it, and I talked about the devastation that integration did to the Black community. You know, I talked about the positives first, you know, what was positive about it, but I definitely talked about how it impacted the Black community. I mean, we have Black children that never seen a Black man as a teacher stand in front of them, an educated man stand in front of them. Like we got to start by building our own schools. Got to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. What about you, Butterfly?
And we definitely got to start in-house too. Like before the children even go to school, like before they're even born, you need to start like instilling in them, because they can still hear. Like you need to start instilling and speaking life and like, you know, letting them know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before they even go into the world. That way, you know, they'll be unstoppable.
Yeah.
I was telling my mother the other day.
Here's a question. What about hey Kurt, what you think about parents not knowing? Like what they don't know who they are, so how they gonna get a game to their children?
So something I do, and then that's where all of us come in, right? So when I do my credit repair class, we had a good class yesterday, right? We had about 40 people on there. I did something with the marketing yesterday, so it was actually really good. And I'll tell y'all that off air. But after the call, we stayed on there another 2.5 hours. Because I was just giving game on different ways to make money, different ways to do things. And everybody really appreciated people that had no idea that they could have been doing some of these things, right? Like, so when you teach people something, like you gave me one, right? Like I had no idea what that play you gave me. So I'm going to put that in motion, man. Like I want to teach these people how to get their credit fixed, right? So, because we what we do, we let our credit go bad over a water bill. We let our credit go bad over a cell phone. We let our credit go bad at Rent-A-Center, where they charging us 5-10 times the amount that stuff costs, right? So the other day, man, I had a credit card. I mean, I went and checked the credit card, right? Apple have a nice credit card, and I'm hearing that it's one of the prestige cards around now, right? I did a pre-qualify. With the pre-qualify, they gave me $10,000. I declined it. I was like, man, it feels good to decline a $10,000 card, right? But anyway, so
it's a titanium card. You see 'em?
yeah. So,
They
but then my
titanium.
sister was like, no, you want that card. So I called them and tried to get them to increase. But bottom line is, once I'm working on a merchant account, right? And they ran my credit. I ain't know they told me they was gonna do a soft, so they ran it twice. I like, damn, if they ran my credit and I'm gonna have to do a play to get this stuff off my credit, these inquiries off, then I might as well run it up myself. So I doubled back and got that platinum card. I doubled back and got a Navy Federal. Navy Federal gave me 25,000. Apple gave me 10, and Discover gave me 35. So right there, I got 70,000. My goal was to get 100.
The Apple card is through Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, so the goal is to teach these people that how to get these cards and what I'm doing with them and giving them a plan once they have it, right? Like so with my credit card, we got to teach people that you can, like I wrote a book. I can go buy my books on the credit card, sell the books and pay off the credit card. Right? I sell shoes. I can buy the shoes on my credit card, sell the shoes, pay off the credit card. That's the money. That's the source of income, right? Then after I get to a certain point, then we don't have to use that income. Like now, if I want to do something on the next level, then I go back to using that credit. Maybe I want to buy a building. I need my credit because I don't have the cash.
And Kurt, another play is if you can cycle 10 grand through PayPal, you can get a loan from them for about 100.
So what you mean cycle?
Say
10,000 worth of sales.
Yeah. So say we'll talk more about that offline, and we'll get a game.
Yeah, but see, so teaching that type of stuff. So this was cool about, like, I'm trying to build something different with credit repair. It's thousands of people do credit repair, right? So you got to set yourself different. So something I'm trying to do is, like, you don't only get credit repair with me. You're going to learn, you're going to get in a joint venture. You're going to get in, like, I'm going to teach you some things to where you're going to be able to take off probably farther than me. Just depend where you put your energy at. Right, because some people don't have the bills I have already, right? Like I already set up my bills, right? So some people can come in clean. You learn to come in clean. Like you get people that don't have a house and they only goal now is to get a house. No, get a duplex, get a triplex,
get a fourplex.
Yeah, and then go after that house. Like start teaching that knowledge, and then like using social media to our advantage, right? Like teaching people how to use social media to their advantage. Like I get some people, like every now and then I have to unfollow my boy Snoop Dogg, right? Because he just ain't teaching me nothing sometimes, right? Like sometimes the funny stuff is good, but once I got 5-6 people that just flooding my timeline with funny stuff, I got to move this because I'm missing other people that I can be looking at.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, no, I'm not. Right? Like I be looking for certain entrepreneurs because I stop on their posts and then it'll take me down to see what I miss, and like, damn, I missed them saying this. Right? I'm looking for their lives because they teaching me.
Yep,
they teaching me.
You know, Khalif. So we see what the school system and again, I keep harking back on resources and get into the to the people that don't know what they don't know. You heard me, Trash? Hello?
I didn't hear you. I'm here. I'm sorry. I was paying attention.
Oh, what I was saying is, how do we get to those people that don't know what they don't know? And how say, like, you know, I don't know if people know about Dr. John Henry Clark or Dr. Ivan Van Sertima or Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. You know, these people who came before us and taught us the game, but that was never taught in the school. And so how do I expect is this?
I mean, you can get. I was gonna go ahead and I was gonna chime in. My bad.
Yeah, I was saying, like, you can give a kid all the loving and all the different toys and tools, but they don't have knowledge of self. I mean, how can they be an asset for us rather than them?
Us as parents, right? We got to build infrastructure, a system to where the kids can be nurtured in. And if we don't do that as parents, then we leave our kids subject to what's set up for them out there already. And it's a lot
Mhm.
of potholes set up out there. So us as parents, if we want to see our kids have the opportunity to be successful, we have to go build infrastructure for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we definitely need some infrastructures in schools. We need stores, we need supermarkets. But see, that's the stuff that you don't see. Like these athletes, some of these athletes, they coming out and then they want to start a clothing line. Like, wow, man, really? You got all that money and you start a clothing line, right? Like
I'm
you're
like,
supposed to open a supermarket. Like, and then people don't talk about the people that do good business, right? Like, I don't know if y'all remember Devin George. He was a Laker.
mm-hmm.
On a couple of championship teams. The dude went and bought some properties, man, and started putting people in. So what he do is he funnel them through, right? Once they get on their feet enough to move out on their own, then they move out of that complex. But he has
Mm-hmm.
a store for that complex as well. So you spend at the store, you work at the store, you like you come in, you have nightly meetings, and man, he got it set up. And it's others out there like that, but they don't glorify that because it might catch on.
Well, you see what they do to people who got the blueprint.
Well, most of the time, either you're gonna get killed or they're gonna find something dirty on you to shut you down or send you to jail. You know they're gonna find that dark secret. They always looking like everybody got a secret, right? So
Yeah.
they're gonna find that dark
And if
secret.
you don't, then they're gonna mark you as crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Like
In
if
1982, when you was born, you had but a nurse. We got it here on file.
yep. So all of that, like
But you got to think we got to highlight some of our kings that do a lot of good for their community, and like Willie McGinnis, you have like some real leaders out here. Snoop got his own league as well. Like it's a lot of people that invest back into the kids and give them opportunity. That's what I do with my son. We invest back in the community and give kids a place to be kids, where they can be safe. One, that's the primary thing because I'm real big on protection with my kids. You gotta first have a place that's safe for your kids to be, and then once you create them places safe, you gotta make sure people in there who's in charge is doing it for the right reasons. Like people ain't sitting there trying to lace their pockets, because that's one thing you always gotta worry about is us and our people doing stuff that's unbecoming, and especially when it comes to finance. And then you have the crabs in the bucket theory, where everybody sees somebody doing something else and they want to tear them down. So it's a lot of damaged roots we have that we have to deal with in order to kind of be able to create something that's sustainable. You know what I mean? Because it's cool to build something that's gonna be up for now, but how is it gonna last for the years to come and actually be able to continue to grow and be nourishing to not just our babies but the next generation of babies, and to be able to pass down quality information that's not going to just build them but build their community and the kids around them, because that's when you start really making the difference.
Hey, that's really good, man, because I was just brainstorming today. Like I was going through my brainstorming session, right? And I was like, okay, I got to start thinking futuristically, right? Like quit thinking for right now and then for the next 5 years. What about the next 100 years, right? Like have that mentality and then you can create something. No, I feel you, Bitcoin. I feel you with that 2140. I'm on you.
21, yes, sir.
Hey Scott, so what do you have? Like, what again? My major complaint is for people who do not know. How can they teach their kids what they do not know? Their history, finances, different things of that nature. Because the cycle is going to continue regardless if you create good habits or bad habits. What's your input on that?
Shit, I think we all got pretty much the same input or output as far as what the answer. I mean, first of all, we got to actually understand that we don't know everything and be willing to just say, hey, well, I didn't know that. Well, let me try to find out. You see what I'm saying? That's our thing. Once we get grown, we feel like we know everything. You can't nobody teach you nothing. And that's where we're handicapping our kids. You know what I mean? So it all goes back to, like everybody said on here today. You know what I'm saying? Hey, sit down, take the time, get involved with your child. You know what I'm saying? That's math, that's credit, that's Bitcoin, that's eating properly, that's whatever the case is. Get involved, because I've always said it, and one of y'all said it earlier, you know, your kids mimic what you do. They're sponges. You know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about credit, if you're talking about tech stuff, if you're talking about how to write a book or whatever the case, or you know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is that you're doing, your kid want to be like you naturally. So you have to actually understand your kid don't know nothing. He wants to, or she wants to be like you. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you have to actually take the time and just be willing to say, I don't know this. I want to learn. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, oh, well, I see what they doing over there. Shit, all right. Well, I ain't gonna learn the fundamentals. And I'm just speaking on Bitcoin right now. I'm not gonna learn the fundamentals. I'm just gonna jump straight to where they're getting the money at. And by the time you go to get the money, everything is sold, and now you get no money. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we teaching our kids wrong. Teach them to just step by step learn fundamentals and the foundations and the blueprints behind everything, and then go out there and apply it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, in closing, it's been over an hour. And I'm gonna bring it back to Kurt, Rhonda, Scott, and then Trash. Y'all got any closing words?
I would just say, man, it's always each one teach one, right? Like everywhere you go, try to leave a positive light, leave stuff better than when you came, right? Like when you find something a certain way, leave it better than when you got there, right? So I don't know. I think if we did that every place we went, then we'll be okay. And last but not least, man, speak to people, man. Like, quit being so mean around this mug, man. Like, everybody walk around and don't say. I've had guys, man, I speak to, and they look at me with that thug life look, and I'm like, man, what's up? I had a guy one, man, what's up? What's wrong, man? What happened? Somebody did something to you? I was acting like, let's go get him, right? And he was like, no, man, I'm good. He started smiling. I was like, all right, man. And we dapped each other up, and I left. I had to trick him into saying, what's up?
Oh, I think he froze.
What about you, Rhonda?
No, I was in. I was it.
Oh. I guess my thing would be like, for those that don't know, what they don't, they know to go look it up. When we were younger, you don't know something, go look it up, right? That's what I always told my kids. So, I mean, even if you don't know history, there's a way you can learn it. You don't know business, there's a way you can learn it. You can teach your children anything, but you have to learn it yourself.
Mm-hmm. All right, Scott. You silence.
No, I said my fault. I was doing some parenting. So what was the question?
Nah, just in closing, what you got to put out in the universe?
Man, each one teach one. That's all I can say. You fine? What's so funny?
Curtis said that.
Curtis said the same thing.
Damn. Hey, but it's the truth though, man. I mean, like, each one teach one. If you find out some better information and it's something that your brother or somebody or your neighborhood should be, you know what I'm saying, should know, back in the day it was a village. Nowadays the village is the neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? So if you got some information for your neighborhood, you need to spread it to your neighborhood, because only your neighborhood are going to be the ones that can really vouch for you. as far as saying, oh, this guy's authentic or this lady's authentic or what he's saying is the truth. You see what I'm saying? So learn what you can. You know, there's a lot of technology. The world is changing, technology and things like that. Try to be ahead of the game. Bitcoin, of course, you need to check that out and just see what's going on. See what's going on. It's on sale. It definitely on sale. 49,000, definitely on sale. I hope you bought. I did. You know what I'm saying? But that's about it. You know, as far as I even got a few things like to even try to help out as far as for helping the neighborhood. You know, I've been trying to figure out how to get people to start trying to understand the breakdowns of the Bitcoin and things like that. Yeah, Ada doing their thing. I see you over there. But yeah, hey, but you know, I've been trying to figure out how to do it, and the only way I could think of it, because I've been playing this game where I win free Satoshis. I've won so many Satoshis, man, it's crazy. And every day, all day long, I'm playing it. And then I take it and I transfer it to my wallet because everyone knows Satoshis is Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? So if you could get it for free, do it. And it's also, it's like a school, because the only way you get the Satoshis is you must answer the questions correctly. Being that I'm kind of a little bit, you know, I'm knocking them holes out and I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? But it's great for people to actually learn some stuff. So the new book that I'm writing, you know what I'm saying? I'm putting that information up in there. I'm putting a whole lot of stuff up in there for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Even if you want to learn with the Doge, I don't support it. I don't rock with it. But you want to get rich? I'm going to tell you what it takes to get rich. I'm going to go on here and I'm going to show you what it takes. Why these people are able to say, hey, I made all this money off Doge. Well, once I break it down and show you how much you got to put into it, and this all you going to get, the risk factor is up to you. You see what I'm saying? Some people love to gamble. I can't stop a person from gambling. You see what I'm saying? But I can tell you, I can tell you your risk. You see what I'm saying? It's just like when they're betting black or red on roulette. You see what I'm saying? It's a risk. How many times that motherfucker gonna land on that red? Sooner or later it's gonna have to land on the black. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, learn the system. You know, I'm putting it all out there. I'm finna put out where you could get free Satoshis, which is free Bitcoin. I'm gonna put out where you could get onto this new thing that I'm not gonna say right now, but it's a new thing to where it's the new internet. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to put that down there and you actually get paid. So you're talking YouTube, just so you can understand. It's like a YouTube, but you get paid in crypto instead of fiat. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? It's so many different things that I'm just doing for y'all. And at the same time, you know what I'm saying? It's for my family because I'm teaching my son how to fish. You know, every day he see me cutting. When I leave from cutting, I'm whoever I see, I keep the book on me. Boom. Hey, check this out. Do this here, whatever the case may be. You know, who is that? What? Oh, damn, that's your son. Yeah, it sure is. And I break it down and they see the pictures of me and I break it down. You know, your elevator pitch. Everybody needs to start working on your elevator pitch. I don't care if you're a multi-millionaire or a multi-quarternaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to work on your elevator pitches because you never know when that opportunity is going to come and you just got to go in. And I mean, go in. You feel me? We all need to just teach our kids survival. We all need to teach our kids how to eat. We all need to teach our kids how to be wolves. We all need to teach our kids how to pray like wolves. You see what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about praying to no God. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to learn how to eat. I've been eating my whole life. I'm fat. I'm full. I'm living. You got to learn how to eat. And that's what we need to start trying to put into these kids. You need to learn how to eat, young man. Like I tell my son, hey, brother, I can live without you. Can you live without me? Can you live 1 month without me? No. Because you have no food, you have no shelter, you have no clothes, you have no guidance, you have no nothing. But me, I've lived these years. The wisdom, I know what it takes, being fundamentally sound. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing with learning new adventures. You got to be fundamentally sound. You got to be able to be willing to learn how to crawl and walk and then run that marathon. My son, 5 years old, and I could put him in a room with anybody his age, and I hate to say it, he gonna shit on him. Now he hard headed, don't listen.
But why do you hate to say that though?
What?
I wouldn't hate to say that. I wouldn't.
He gonna. But you know, it's like, you know, it's. I try to teach him to where it's like you're not better than anyone. You see what I'm saying? See, a lot of times he gets to talking like it's been time, and I've literally heard him where I'm talking about Bitcoin to the daddy in the barbershop, and here it is, the son over there, and I hear my son like, man, we rich. I got Bitcoin. I'll be listening to it. So I'll tap the daddy, and be like, oh, we just listen to them. And, you know, the way he be talking, it's like he throw it in their face. But like I try to explain to him, I'm a wolf, son. So if I was that little young nigga at what I know, you're my prey now. I'm finna eat your fat ass up. You see what I'm saying? So I try to teach him, learn to be a switch. Cut on, cut off. Just as quick as you cut that switch on, a lot of y'all know me. My shit, and I know it.
Yep.
I know it, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm a work in progress, but you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I try to teach him that because you can't always be nice, but you can't always be mean either. You see what I'm saying? You got to know how to walk that line, man, to where you're being respected. And that's it, because you never want to be feared. It's just always about being respected. You don't have to be a gangbanger. You don't have to be a shooter. You don't have to be none of that. You see what I'm saying? People will respect you for you just being stand up. You see what I'm saying? Like, hey, no, I ain't finna be in no gang. No, I ain't finna go steal no car. Yeah, King, I ain't finna go do this here at church. You see what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do all that there. People will respect that because the OGs in the gang will value that. You see what I'm saying? And he'll get respect from the OGs, which will trickle down to the young niggas. See, that's how it is with me. My pops taught me the game. I got respect from a lot of OGs. The OGs trickled down that respect to where it was like I was cool wherever I went. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we have to teach them how to survive. Survive ain't just, you know, like I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, that's why I wasn't talking on the school stuff. Yeah. I wasn't talking on the school. That's why I brought my man in. You know what I'm saying? But because it's like me in school, I took the test. I would always pass it, but I was never in school. You see what I'm saying? Like it bored me. It bored me. But you know, my intellectual properties, the things that I've learned, the things I was able to survive through and make it through. You know what I'm saying, man? To pass that on to him, that's why I be kind of hard on him, because it's like, man, look, I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. And it's crazy because we all sit back and look at it like somebody done told us that same shit. You know what I'm saying? But we had to try to figure it out ourselves.
Trial by fire.
Yeah, and just hope you live through it though. That's it. But yeah, closing. That's all it is. You know, I got a few things that I'm gonna drop. If y'all want to check it out, it's intro to crypto LLC.com. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go to my IG, it's intro to crypto. You know what I'm saying? _ LLC. If you know what I'm saying, you trying to get your haircut, whatever, Scotty's World, LLC, everything LLC around here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all I'm trying to pass on to my son. Keys, D's, and LLCs. You know what I'm saying? Man, this Scotty, the Bitcoin bully, man. Finish speaking.
All right. And last but not least, Mr. Trash Vegan.
Man, this is a great conversation, y'all. I really hope we can do some building with this. Ken, you know, I enrolled my children in Ken's course, and that was one of the first things they were teaching, like Scotty said, their elevator pitch and getting their businesses together and teaching them young. I just want to see more parents be parents. You know, we have an abundant amount of kids, and we don't have an abundant amount of parents. We don't have an abundant amount of fathers. It's like we need more fathers to be good fathers. And when you see what you pouring, with Brother Scott pouring into his kids, with Rhonda pouring into her, Brother Kurt, what he pouring in, Brother Ali, what you pouring into yours, we got to be able to reproduce that. We have to be able to reproduce that in our communities, and we got to make that the normal. We got to make that cool. Being a father, cool. Being there for your kids. Being a solid father. Not no weirdo because you're going through it with your moms. Or you didn't set the situation up where y'all is on one accord to raise the children in the right way. Because every situation ain't made to work, but at the end of the day, the kids got to get the information regardless. We got to pass it down. And if we're not building a safe community for our kids, we're failing them. So I ain't gonna keep on going on. I just want to see each one teach one, like y'all said, and come together like Voltron at the end and make this thing happen.
But hey, that concludes tonight's program. If y'all happen to listen to this at a later time, please pass this on because we got problems.
This is YouTube.
We got
This is
solutions.
You said pass it? Here. Or here. We got problems.